Thank you for listening to Depictions Media Radio. Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with Julia Kovacs. Julia is dedicated to empowering everyone to live life orgasmically. She accomplishes this by working with men and women individually and in groups to overcome their past conditioning related to intimacy. The goal is to teach people how to live an orgasmic life each moment of their waking hour. Julia works to change the paradigms of the public perception of sex, evolving from shameful junk sex to sacred gourmet sex. As an intimacy coach, she will give you hands-on training and gently guide you through your own or couple sexual blocks to open the doors to your bliss. Now, I heard you giggling there, Julia. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, right now, I know a lot of us have not been able to do any of the group things that go along with our business,
Right.
and I'm sure that some of that has disappeared from your business at the same time. But that doesn't mean that we can't have intimacy, right?
Absolutely. In fact, I think this is an incredible opportunity to deepen our intimacy, whether you're on your own, to yourself, and whether you're with a partner or with a family in quarantine. Oftentimes we really don't have this kind of time that we can actually just spend endless hours, if we want, and pay attention to ourselves, what's going on within us, and also just ask questions and talk to those who are like partnered with us, whether they are by choice or by force, but they are in the same space. And how amazing this is! I think this is an amazing opportunity.
Yeah. Now, of course, most of us aren't, because, like you said in the intro, a lot of our conditioning and things like that may get in the way of us being able to fully take advantage of that opportunity.
Yes. Well, that's the thing that a lot of times we don't recognize is that we are truly craving intimacy. We are truly craving to connect to another human being, and also to understand ourselves better and our bodies and our functioning. And through our childhood and through our education and society, unfortunately, those are not areas that we were given opportunities to really understand. We don't spend much time in school understanding our body, anatomy, biology, how it works, and the intimacy, how you touch a girl, how you touch a boy, our sexuality, our sensuality is not primary subjects in school, and yet that's what really keeps us alive. That's what keeps us excited. That's what like that spark and that buzz, whatever we do. Like, I'm looking outside and people are now not going anywhere. They're not doing the doing part. We are just being, and to find ourselves now stripped from our busyness and the idea of busyness. Now we have a chance to actually look inward and spend this intimate, like truly intimate time, because no one is in your space. It's just either only you or your pets and your family. And how are we going to do that when we don't have the tools and the skills taught to us, really? This is an opportunity where, there's a lot of things online, but this is an opportunity to read books, to ask really good questions from each other, for instance. I don't know, like, how do you spend your time with your wife during this time?
Well, actually, we were when I'm not actually broadcasting or reporting on what's going on with the virus. We're cuddled on the couch, binge watching DVDs.
Okay. Yes.
And it's stuff that we're both like really into, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you're watching movies, and do you spend time ever like just not doing anything, in a sense that not having an outside interest, just like ask each other questions, for instance, or how do you deepen your connection during this time? Do you find it any different? Is it?
Um, we actually, I would say this that we do sit and discuss things. It's
Mm-hmm.
like there's also time that we have together, because part of our of this business is also distribution of the news door to door,
Okay.
and and right now that's named as, we're going to put in quotation marks, as an essential service,
Right.
delivering different newspapers and things like that to people's doors.
I see.
So during that time, we also have discussions about how to make our lives better.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
You know, discussions around what politics. You know, different things are just happening in our world that we can just talk about during that time, because
Right.
it takes a few hours to get all that done, and it's like, and there's no I should say there's no distraction from television or screens. It's
Right.
just the two of us working together, right?
Right.
And since it's more menial, your brain
Mm-hmm.
wants to work also, and
Mm-hmm. Of
since
course.
we're both highly intelligent people, right?
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Sure.
so
Of course.
that's one of
So
the
the
ways that
intellect.
we do it. You know.
Yeah, the intellectual stimulation
Hmm.
is helping you to connect to each other. That's what you're saying. So how about like the intimate communication? So there are questions that I sometimes encourage couples to do, like, tell me something you like about me. Like we were like with my partner, we like decided to just gonna spend time just saying nice things to each other. That kind of like it's a system to get your nervous system used to like just hearing nice things and nice and loving things, especially during this time when there's lots of fears that could come up. And I think maybe that's what I would like to focus on with you, like how we can suggest people to not get into parts of their head where the fear is lurking and making you stressed out. So
Hmm.
how can you consciously pull yourself out of those areas and focus on the nice things? Because pleasure and feeling good is super important right now, as it is medicine to the soul, and it makes us feel better. So you can create that on your own or with a lover. You can ask, like,
Hmm.
tell me, the ways that you like me, or things that you love about me, or things that you love that I do for you. So those are the there's specific questions you can ask of each other that maybe don't have time other times, or you don't think about it, that you can do at this time, and get
Yeah.
kind of deeper layers of intimacy.
Well, let me ask you this: overall, I mean, how important is that to a relationship?
It's absolutely fundamental. Not everyone has I realize though, not everyone has really deep relationships. Sometimes people live together and they're kind of strangers to each other, because they don't ask those questions, and they get lost in the mundane. And then when they try to make love or get close, it's like, it's almost like you're a stranger with a strange body. I think intimacy, physical intimacy, and sexual intimacy, and emotional intimacy is very important, but we don't actually think about those as separate categories. We just think of intimacy as sex,
Hmm.
and and actually, it's just part of it. Intimacy is, often people joke about it, it's like into me see. So I open myself up to you in intimate ways. And sometimes people think of that as sharing secrets, and well, not necessarily sharing secrets, but that's not always the case, but more about things you are ashamed of or things you are embarrassed to say. And sometimes it's nice things, like we talked about this, like, when you want to criticize somebody, it's always easy to say, like, oh, you don't do this or you don't do that. But we don't say the 99% of other things that we think the other person is doing right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's how we are creating intimacy, when we are making the other person feel safe and comfortable around us. And if they feel like that we genuinely like them and like the way they think, like you said, you're working with your wife and it all works really well, and say like, oh, it is so fun working with you. It's so great how we get things done. It's so great how we think about different things. And we share it with each other, and that makes me feel closer to you. Like, just use those words, which we often don't. I certainly were not in conscious of using that kind of language, but its compliments to a human is like water to a plant, and we tend to forget it, especially in long-term relationship, and we tend to forget it with each other as well. You look in the mirror, it's like, oh my God. Instead looking in the mirror, it's like, oh my God, like, here I am. I lived this long to see quarantine, and now the world is changing, and look at it as an opportunity, which it truly is an opportunity for us to stop for a second and make a choice. Do you want to go down on the rabbit hole of fear and negativity and doubt, or you have a choice? No, I'm going to take this opportunity to really enjoy my wife, my dog, my family. I call a friend, I exercise, I read a book. So that's the opportunity here, and that choice, and to understand that this choice is always available to us, even when we are not in quarantine. We are just not in a habit of doing it. And the world had come to a screeching halt, where we actually going to have time to develop this muscle and develop this deeper intimacy with each other, with the world around us, with nature as it's all blooming right now in the spring, and really just slow down and take time to enjoy being alive.
Well, I like some of what you're saying is like changing habits and exercising the muscles in our, because if I'm going to rephrase this a little bit, because it almost sounds like you're saying that there's muscles to our mentality, our emotions, as well as our physical being, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, there are. Those are muscles that we haven't really exercised, because it's not a focus in our society to exercise those muscles. It's in our society, what doesn't make you money doesn't really get exercised, and so that's really usually the primary focus. It's like, okay, I'm going to go to school because I'm going to get a job and I'm going to make money, and it's rarely for the purpose of, oh, I'm just going to do this because I enjoy it, and without getting too geeky about it, science now has proven that we are actually wired for pleasure. Things that we do is for pleasure. We have telomeres in the end of our DNA, which elongates if we actually have more pleasure in our body. And when you experience pleasure, you have this flood of hormones in your body that makes you feel that really gooey, awesome feeling. That actually puts us into the parasympathetic nervous system of this calming down state, and from that point, all our decisions are actually better decisions than being in that rushed, fearful, anxious, stressed state. So yes, it absolutely is, so to speak, a muscle that we need to exercise, and that muscle is the muscle of relaxation, not the muscle of the tightness and contraction. But it's the muscle of relaxation. The more we relax. And so when do we relax more? When we feel safe, when we feel loved, when we feel warm, when we feel comfortable. And you can create that environment within yourself, and you can also create it within with your partner. Like if you walk into a family environment where there is a lot of fighting, there has been a lot of name calling, there has been physical fights or anger or resentment. People are anxious and they are on edge and they don't know. They just want to leave. But if there's an environment you walk in and there's like smiles and hugs and and lovely conversations and lots of like, oh my God, you look so great, and remember when, and whatever, and how do you feel about this? And like there's lots of openness and respect, and that's the environments we feel safe. And in that open, safe environment, then we can open up more and we can open our hearts more, and then that pleasure kind of runs through your body, and then you can get creative. You can get super creative about how you're going to spend now time together. It's when people then drop into the play. It's not a fight anymore. Now you're playing in this world like children in the sandbox, playing because for no other reason other than just it's fun. And how we can make our world joyful and fun, and incredibly and miraculously, the money follows. And I think this is the opportunity right now for all of us to actually see that happening. And they say it takes 21 days for the habit to get set. So we actually can practice this in our lives. Whereas if this would have happened for 3 days or for a week, like that's like going away on a weekend, you get a break from your habits, or you go away on a holiday and you're having a great time, but then it's over, and then you come back, you drop back into your habits, back to the mundane. Perhaps you are refreshed for a few days, lingering memories of holiday. Now we have a chance to actually take more time. Maybe we're going to get to the 21 days. In fact, it looks like that we will. So you can actually consistently do the same thing over and over and create new habits of exercising, new habits of eating, cleaning out your fridge, throwing out food that you don't need. I mean, I think a lot of people overate at the beginning, and now you're like, you get to a point where, do I really need to eat this much? Do I really need to cook this much? I want to move my body, all of those things, and then the connection to the other human being who is with you in this situation, or to yourself. I don't want to discount and diminish the idea that a lot of people are also by themselves, and it might be really, really difficult for them. There are resources. They can reach out, phone people, have conversations, go out for a walk, connect to nature. Those are all really good ways to nourish our soul during this time.
Yeah, because we may not be able to get within 6 feet of another. If we were to actually meet face to face right now, we'd have to stay 6 feet away from each other because we don't live in the same house together. Right. But my wife and I, we can be as close and cuddle together and all that, that sort of all the physical closeness, but. Physical closeness is good, but as you were saying, that we also need to find that emotional and mental closeness too, right?
Yes, because really, if you are, referring to like physical, sexual intimacy, it starts in the brain, right? So it's very difficult to just jump into bed and really connect sexually to another person if you haven't had that emotional and mental closeness already set. Like that starts much earlier than the actual physical urge. So how to create that more, so there's more openness and more invitation and more enjoyment and exploration of each other and each other's body, and so there can be a lot of communication, and you can ask each other about how do you want to be loved, what kind of lover you want to be in your mind. Like if you wanted to be a better lover, what do that look like? Like to have these conversations and actually think about it and communicate it to each other. Do you like when I do this? Like the other night with my partner, we decided to have a date night. We didn't go out. We just, got dressed up, and we got dressed up in our nice clothes. We put makeup. I
Mm-hmm.
did my hair, and and he did too. We didn't go anywhere, and then we just found like awesome music. We made like this awesome dinner, and it was like going out, and we wore shoes, and we were dancing, and then I just I did a little lap dance for him, and it was fun. So you can be really creative. Like, what do you want to do? And really, nobody's watching, so it's just the two of you. So you can do whatever you want to do. You're not out on the dance floor. People are always saying like dance like nobody's watching. Well, nobody's watching now. So, but you can still make it fun. He got these beautiful flowers. We decorated the place. So you can do the pajamas, but you can also snap out of it and schedule your time and do other stuff. We exercise, went for a walk. We asked these questions from each other. We try different things that we haven't tried before. Blindfolds and sensory exercises and all
Mm-hmm.
kinds of stuff. You can take a long bath. We can give each other massages, like just a lot of things that when do we have this kind of time, for each
Yeah.
other, right? Yeah, lavish our bodies and then like you realize, which we realize that we just in areas that we haven't really even talked about or touched in each other physically and mentally and emotionally. Like it all gets kind of clearing up the cobwebs of areas, and it feels good, and then you just get more relaxed into it. And whatever is happening outside, when you come from this place of like complete nourishment, you can face it better.
Right.
And it's going to be challenging for a little while out there, but compared to other cities and countries, we are doing really well here. So it's another thing that we do. We just count our blessings every day here
Yeah.
of how lucky we are that we are not ill. We have a beautiful place and a beautiful city to go through this time that's much more challenging for a lot of people around the world. And so to really, really feel deep gratitude for our life and where we are right now. And we are, we couldn't be here without millions of others who have died along the way to get us here. So I think we all need to be very aware of how incredibly blessed and lucky we are in our lives, and coming from the deep state of gratitude. Everything becomes like just the cherry on top. And this is not to say that that my work hasn't disappeared and I have any idea where I'm going to make money with, and somehow I just feel incredibly calm about that, and not freaking out, because creativity will be around, and lots of new ideas will come around as well, and come out of this. We just need to pivot, and we don't know how this things is going to go, and it's going to become clearer and clearer. But this is an incredible time, and I would encourage everyone out there to use this time for getting ready for when it's over. Then you have maybe develop a skill of some kind, learning how to play the piano or the guitar or whatever. There's lots of YouTube channels, like lots of things you can do. Yeah, lots of things you can do. Anything in particular you're curious about, Michael? That because I can go into many different directions.
Yeah. Well, we're going to start to run short on time. So I want you to tell everybody the best ways to actually get a hold of you, because you have some really good information with this, right? And if you could list like a few tips that people should try during this time, just to get more intimate with their partner and more intimate with themselves.
Right. Yeah. So I would say the the important thing is to really spend time like looking at each other, looking each other's eyes, saying hello. When you walk by each other, just like caress each other. Just keep like contact and say good morning and maybe plan your day together when you get up. And okay, what would you like to do? And make a schedule. Okay, let's go for a walk and let's go and get some groceries. Like and make it like if this was like the best day of your life, how would you like to spend it? You are free to do whatever you want to do. So ask each other that question. You are free to do whatever you want to do. How would you want this day to be the best day of your life? And plan on that and do it and keep each other accountable. That's one nice thing about having a partner, that you can say, okay, we haven't done this. You want to do that? And ask each other, like, how do you want me to touch you? How do you want to be loved? And wait for the answer. And if you are embarrassed or you're not into habit, then maybe write it down and then just slip it to each other. Some people are like embarrassed asking these questions. How would you like when this is all over? How would you like your world to be different? How do you want to relate to other people differently? Now that we know that this distancing will be over, and how would you like the world around you change, your friends, how you relate to others? This is a time to kind of really be in the soup of creation and imagination. Humans are very powerful, and they bring whatever they imagine into life. So this would be a really good time to write down how would you like your life to be, and how in areas of health. Like, what are the areas, that, like, are you taking good vitamins? Are you eating clean foods? Do you drink clean water? Are you exercising? Do you take care of your body? And then your financing. Are you, how else can you be doing it? A lot of people are finding themselves that they are like a month away from being broke. That is not great. Like, now the government has been really great as to stepping up and bailing people out, but people need to have better understanding about how they get their financial security, so they don't get into this stress. So anything that removes stress. So next time you have opportunity to make money, start saving, putting money on the side. It's always a good idea to have money for emergency. That people are just one paycheck away from being broke. That's pretty scary. So areas of your life you like to improve, a new skill that you would like to have, and if you ever get stressed or get into that afraid mode and freak out mode, then breathe. Just breathe. Lots of breathing exercises are online. Just find something. Meditate. If you are not into meditating, then just sit down quietly and just breathe. Don't allow your thoughts to be running away with you. So those are the kind of things that I would suggest. People can find me pretty active on Facebook. I have a Facebook group called Soul Sexy Life. I also have a website called www.soulsexy.life. And right now there are some videos that I made a few years back about how to have more intimacy and how to touch each other in more specific ways. There's a penis massage and yoni or vulva massage video on there, which is very specific. So if you would like to learn some new moves, that's available, and I'm offering that right now free of charge while this whole shamaz is going on in the world. So people could actually drop in there. So it's soulsexy.life, and then you need to sign up because, of course, this is a video that's pretty explicit. So I don't want to be accessible very easily, but you just follow the steps and you can access that. And I also have a website called juliakovacs.com that's more of a general about a lot of other offerings that I have. I work with couples. I do workshops And I encourage anybody who would like to just deepen their intimacy, and they have questions, or they get stuck, or they don't know how to get there. It is very difficult for people to go here, especially after many years perhaps of marriage or relationship, and you have kind of your ways are set. And now, we all have been given this wake-up call. Get out of your set ways. Nothing is for real. Nothing is for sure. And you can be shaken up right now. And it's like, whoa, all the balls are up in the air. When they land, how do you want it to land? And choose the way you want it to land. Choose the better way that would work better for you. Like, make a conscious choice about it. Don't just let randomly the world toss you around. We actually do have control over it, and make that choice out of trust and love in yourself first and foremost, and know how amazing we are as humans, and there's so much beauty during this crisis, and just focus on that. And there's no need to focus on the negative and all the stuff that's going on. It's going to be there all the time. But collectively, if we focus on the great things, we can collectively create a different society where none of our issues that we complained about will be issues again. That's what I would invite people to do, is to make that choice. It's up to us. It's not up to the government. It's up to us to create a society where everyone is taken care of, where there is no fear, and we treat each other with loving kindness, and it starts from home. So I hear that child abuse and spousal abuse is up, and we need to create safety in our home first, and then bring that out to the others as well. So that's what I would invite people to do. How you can be you yourself, be safe and kind and loving to your neighbors, to the world around you, and treat our planet like it's our habitat, like your home. So you don't, in your home you don't create a mess. And if your house is a mess, that's an indication of your own inner state. So start cleaning up. We all feel better when it's all cleaned up. So start little by little. And if you need help, and if you're stuck and you're anxious, reach out. Lots of help available.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Julia. It's. I mean, what you're saying sounds really wonderful, and thank you for joining us today.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for having me, Michael.
Yeah. And I want to thank all of our listeners for tuning in. And I do invite them to either give you contact you either via your juliakovacs.com website, or the soulsexy.life. And I am a member of your Facebook group, and it's a lot of fun, and you put a lot of good work into making it a fun experience for everybody.
Yeah, thank you. I like to run it like a magazine, so it's got all kinds of fun things for everybody to enjoy. And if you want to go deeper, there's lots of deeper articles. If you just want to have fun, just kind of it's just collection of various things that I stumble on, and regarding intimacy and sexuality, and how to live really a life that's orgasmic and fun and titillating. And isn't it what all of us want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Michael.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
This show has been produced by Depictions Media. Please contact us at depictions.media for more information.